What's up, tricksters and tricksetters, and welcome to another Tier 3 sub VOD review presented by your favorite rating coach, Charlatan Papito. Maybe I'm not the favorite, but, you know, we have the experience. Now, today we have a very unusual VOD review. Very unusual. Mega unusual. Like, really unusual. We have a guy that is called I don't know how to play. He is in a gold 1 elo. On bind, playing Viper on bind on a controller. Now you would ask yourself, like, okay, Charlatan, it's Valorant is out on console, like, we should start VOD reviewing console players as well, like, we should help them out as well. He is playing on a controller on a PC version of a game. So as you can see here from this little thumbnail on YouTube, he has a controller cam. He is playing on a CRT monitor. And yeah. This is gonna be a interesting one. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, listen. In this VOD, we're definitely not gonna talk about the mechanics that much. Because I don't know how good of a mechanics you can have on a controller. And I never played on a controller myself. But we're gonna see how this guy can maybe achieve Diamond, Ascendant, or Immortal by playing like on this type of a setup. Now, he is basically doing a challenge. First of all, I think my awareness and game knowledge are really good, and my mechanics are fine, especially for the rank I'm in. I don't know. But I really struggle with decision making because I always end up pressured into making dumb decisions, or it feels like I make decisions that cause me to get no value in a round, even if I'm not making any mistakes. So listen, when you're ranking up from like Iron 1 to Ascendant 1, decision making is one of the main skill sets that you want to fix and that you want to develop. Decision making is not easy to develop. It takes time, knowledge, practice, self-observation, and consistent learning. A lot of the players have a bad decision making only because they love hitting the same ball with the same head, and they only have one head. Unless they are a male, then they have two heads, but they're hitting the wrong one in the wall. And people don't like to learn. In order to get better decision making, you need to have a really high game knowledge, self-reflection, observation, and learning capacity. Like, you cannot basically, when you perform some strategy, and that strategy works only 20% of times, it's a bad fucking strategy. Don't do it, or change it a bit. If you're like losing on a map, 80% of times you're losing on a specific map, when you're doing the same shit, well, you're doing something wrong. Get out of your comfort zone. Do some VOD reviews yourself. Compare your gameplay to the gameplay of other players, Radiant players, pro players. See what they're doing and what you can do better. We're gonna try to see, what you should do. Basically, a lot of the, awareness problems and the decision-making problems for low elo players comes from bad game knowledge. Like, a lot of the players don't understand what is optimal, suboptimal, and a bad play. And that is the first thing that I teach players in my coaching sessions. Like, basically, 50% of my coaching, no matter in which rank you are, is like just making you understand what is an optimal, suboptimal, and bad thing to do in Valorant. And not only that, you need to understand in a game of Valorant, you need to understand everything. What is optimal, suboptimal, and bad? What do I mean by that? Like, you're playing Viper. You don't only want to learn what is the optimal, suboptimal, and bad play with Viper. You also want to learn that with other agents as well. Because if you don't understand what other agents can do together with you or against you, you will be making bad game decisions consistently, obviously, or suboptimal game decisions. So, and when it comes to awareness, like awareness is something that can be trained, actually, but awareness in general gets better as you improve your game knowledge and as you improve your understanding of how to play different scenarios and what are like the optimal plays for every scenario. That takes time, takes practice, and it's really good if you have a help from someone that is more skilled than you to explain to you what you're doing wrong, what your teammates are doing wrong, and what enemies are doing wrong, essentially. Like, awareness is basically like your capability of understanding your win conditions in the shortest period of time. But it can be trained. Like, there are trainings such as like, I mean, I cannot share them right now because I don't know what are his problems, but, you know, map awareness, for example, can be trained with some specific tools, such as making the notebooks that notepads that you use while you're playing the game, tracking down what everyone is doing. Like, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it as we go through this VOD review, maybe at the end of the VOD review. Now, let's look at his tracker. I really have no idea why this guy is playing Valorant on a controller and CRT monitor with this many hours invested in Valorant. Like, with this many hours invested in Valorant, if he was playing on a keyboard and a mouse, he probably would have already reached, like, at least Ascendant. Minimum Ascendant. Now, I said at the start of this VOD review that this guy is like Gold 1, but actually this is gonna be like a Platinum 1 VOD review. Like, I cannot give him a Gold rank because he did reach Platinum 1 once. And like, you know, it would be unfair to call this player a Gold player. But his overall improvement was kinda okay until he reached Gold. But then, like, here, like, we're going up and down, like, I mean, playing on a controller is definitely a huge part why you're not improving. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe even on a PC version of a game and a controller, I think there is a possibility for you to reach Ascendant 1. Because I always say to players in Valorant that I coach, like, even if you don't have hands, you can reach Ascendant 1. Because mechanical skill is not that important until you reach, like, high Immortal Elo. Then mechanical skill becomes more important. But reaching Ascendant 1 is all about the game knowledge, decision making, and how you actually play the game. Like, you know, what type of fights you take, how you take the fights, and stuff like that. I don't want to go really too deep into this tracker review because of how he plays the game. I just want to see it myself and see if he can do something better to actually reach Ascendant or Immortal on a keyboard version of you get a point. His playtime is most of the time optimal, even more than optimal. I mean, like 125 hours, 165 hours, that's insane. You know, with this many hours, you should be able to glide through the ranks in Valorant. Even without your will, you should be able to reach, like, at least Ascendant with this playtime. Basically, in Valorant, as long as you play 3 ranked games every single day, that is the optimal playtime to essentially reach high elo lobbies, you know, Immortal 3 and maybe even Radiant. Now, I don't know if there is a point in even doing a tracker review for this player, but let's take a look maybe at the last act for an example. Yeah, the last act is pretty similar to this one. So, every single statistic from of yours, is either suboptimal or bad. You know, like literally everything. And you know, like a huge part of that can be that you're playing on a controller, obviously. But if you're already playing on a controller you know, and you have a hard time aiming, you should definitely be playing agents that are easy to play, even if you don't have a good aim. You know, maybe like Sentinels, like Cypher for an example. Omen, why not? Viper on some of the maps. You know, like agents that can outplay the enemies, even without a mechanical skill. Maybe Killjoy as well. Like, I don't know. Like, my top picks would probably be like Cypher, Gecko, Omen, and that's it. Those three agents. And that kind of applies for every single player that has a bad mechanical skill. You know, these three agents are really good on all of the maps in Valorant. You can switch them on and off. And, yeah. Like, those would be my top picks if you're already playing Valorant under these conditions. And he does play controllers on a controller. But to be honest, in this low elo, I would never play Astra or Viper, you know. For example, on Abyss and Icebox, I would play Omen instead of the Viper. And I would play Viper only on Breeze. Like, that's the only map that is conditioned with Viper. And Omen is good on Breeze as a secondary controller, if you play him as a duelist, essentially. There's not that much to review here until we see, you know, how he actually plays the game and how much he can actually, like, you know, manage to keep up with the PC players on these settings. Like, clutch percentage can be better, obviously. ADR, KD, headshot percentage, KST. You know, one stat that can be really good for you, even if you play Valorant under these conditions, you have a bad equipment, you're playing on a controller and stuff like that, is KST. Like, this stat here, no matter how bad you are at Valorant, should always be 74 to 75% minimum. This statistic just tells us how well you play with your teammates, how much you value your life, and how much properly you play the actual ranked team play of Valorant. Like, you're dying alone a lot. We need to take better fights, smarter fights, and we need to do something better in terms of our team play. As I said, like, I you know, like, there's no point in reviewing any of this. Like, it's just everything is bad all across, and you know, he definitely performs better on a defender side, which he needs to do if he plans to play Valorant on a controller on PC. You know, defense is where you should be carrying like 80% of your games, because you're holding the angles. You don't need to clear that many angles. You don't need to fight multiple enemies in the same time. Like, so yeah, I can see that. But on the attack, we'll see how you play. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna see, to be honest. Really weird VOD. Yeah, I mean, VOD review and really weird, like, tracker as well. In semi-rounds and eco rounds, you need to be a bit better. Like, this is horrendous. And to be honest, if you're playing Valorant on a controller, like, I would really focus on playing more like shotguns, close-range weapons, playing Operator as well. You know? Especially if you want to play like someone like Omen, for an example, or Viper and Astra. Like, that's where you can easily outmaneuver the enemies, get some easy, cheesy kills, and make the numbers advantage for your team. Like, the weapons that I would prioritize more than Vandal and Phantom, on the defender side, primarily, is Operator, Outlaw, Shorty, Stinger, and Judge, and maybe Bucky as well. Like, these weapons you should definitely apply. And Odin as well, like on the paper maps, you know, like Lotus, Ascent, Haven, buy the Odin, you know, spam some of these walls, like, takes easy kills, take easy kills. But all of this is kind of pointless. Like, we really need to see, like, how he is actually playing the game, what he's doing, and how good he can actually perform on a controller. As I said during this VOD review, we're not gonna focus that much on his mechanics. We will try to help him take easier kills, you know, and how he can maybe carry these games. But we'll focus mainly on his decision making, awareness, and game knowledge, and how he actually plays the game of Valorant. Let's dive into this very unusual VOD review. By the way, like, a lot of you guys asked me, like, is the tier 3 sub on Twitch same as the tier 3 sub on Discord? No. Like, if you want to get a guaranteed live VOD review, you need to be a tier 3 sub on Discord. Tier 2 sub gets a guaranteed tracker, private tracker review. Tier 1 sub gets basically like the access to the rank playbook and some other channels on my Discord server. Like, you can get a free VOD review if you win in the giveaways on every 50 Twitch subscribers. Like, on every 50 new subs, I always organize giveaways. Like, I've done over 150 giveaways in the last, like, 1.5 years. You know, be active on Discord, join the giveaways. You can just, you know, like, you can easily get a free VOD review as well. Now, and also another question I get a lot is like, is this how you coach players privately? No. Like, my private coaching is completely different from this type of shit that we're doing here. This is just a live VOD review. You get some extra content, maybe a training, extra tips, guidance in a certain direction, but I don't know you as a player. In private coaching, what I'm trying to do is, like, I'm trying to understand the player on a higher level so I can help him even after the coaching is done. Because when you get my private coaching, the coaching never ends. The coaching ends when you're satisfied with your rank, or you reach Radiant, or you quit the game if you don't want to play it anymore. How is that so? Because, you know, let's say you purchase 1 month coaching. You have 3 bonuses. Every single day, you can ask me up to 5 questions. Every single day, 24/7. Every single day, you can share 3 clips for a quick review. That is over 1,000 clips per year. And every month, you can share 1 VOD, 1 whole VOD for a quick review. That is 12 free VOD reviews per year. And if you don't reach Radiant after all of that, like, I don't know, what the fuck are we doing, to be honest? Then you're really bad. I'm just kidding, of course. Some people need more time, some less. Let's see what he's doing on the attacker's side. Why would there be a cap on questions? Because I've coached 4,300, 400 players. Like, if I give a person an option to ask me, let's say 10 questions, and 10 players ask me 10 questions, that is 100 fucking questions. And on every fucking question, I'm giving a long form answers. Like, already now, I'm answering on 200 questions per day through private messages. Every day I do at least one VOD review through private messages, and I review at least like 50 to 60 clips. Like, every day in a month, I lose around 3 hours on helping the previous students that bought my coaching. In the future, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up with this. For now, it's okay. It's a bit draining and time consuming, but that's how coaching needs to look like. Like, buying coaching as a one-time thing is just stupid. You know, like, we do the coaching, I teach you some things, give you a training, and then, like, what? You maybe get hardstack in a certain rank, then you need to buy coaching again. What the fuck, bro? That's fucking stupid. Okay, let's see what he's doing on the attack. I mean, what he's doing in this VOD, to be honest. Okay, ladies and gents, let's start with the attacker side of Binderoni. First of all, is Viper a good agent on Bind? Yes, if you play her in a double controller setup. Omen plus Bind. Or Omen plus Viper, for an example. Solo Viper as a controller on Bind is a bit cancerous, and I don't recommend you to do that. Anyways, I would not recommend anyone to play a Viper on Bind, or God forbid a double controller setup until Immortal 3. In general, I would not recommend you to play Viper on Bind. Omen is just the best agent and the best controller on that map to solo carry all the way up to Radiant. All the way up to Radiant. TLDR of the attacker side of Bind. Your default bomb site, number 1 priority is B site. Secondary priority, A site. In the first 4 to 6 rounds, no lurking, no flanking, no defaulting. We're playing together as 5 and trying to test the enemies on B site and A site, like how they respond to our 5-man executes. Especially on Bind, defaulting early on is really bad. Really, really, really bad. This whole map works in a favor of a defender side players. Basically, defender side players have a huge advantage in every choke point. Allowing your teammates to take solo fights early on. No bueno. No kinder bueno. Now, on this map, if you have no idea what to do, which strategy to execute, I just recommend you to do a 5-man push through B long, and that's it. This strategy never fails, essentially. Especially if the enemies are eco or Halbai. On a defender side, 5-man push through B long is the best thing that you can do. Avoiding the window, avoiding the shotgun scene. A short window, showers, and some fucked up place in those areas of the map. Now, in the first round of Bind, what do we push? If enemies have Cypher, push A in the first round, together as 5, through the A short. If enemies don't have Cypher, do the B split. 4-1 or 3-2. Spike should always go B long, and you should also always go through the B long, especially if you're playing Viper, because of your smoke setup. Now, that's kind of it. It's a very simple map. Pathing is very important. Team play, utility usage, all of that stuff. I highly recommend you and advise you, don't go through the window or showers unless you need to go there. Unless you need to support your teammates, you have an idea how you can kill the enemies, or it is the part of some grandiose, great strategy from your team. Your primary focus of pushing should always be B long and A short area of the map. In the first round, let's see what enemies have. Yes, we have a crazy setup here. Like, yo. Spicy Shrimp, thank you all for the gift of sub, man. We have a crazy setup here. What can I say? My dude has a pedals to move down there. You know, he is playing on a controller. Double glass. Double visors for aimbot and wall hex. CRT monitor to enhance his wall hex. A can of Coke or something, I don't know what the fuck is that shit there. And a Logitech, I think that's Brio camera or something. Let's just look at this setup. Giga chat setup. It's gonna be a weird VOD, but we're gonna go through it together. Now, in this game, enemies have Cypher. This looks like a serial killer setup. True. So, in this match, enemies do have a Cypher. We push A site in the first round, especially because we have the Sage to wall off the mid of the site here. So in the first round, that's gasoline. Listen. So in the first round, if we have Sage in the team, and enemies have Cypher on the defender side, do a 5-man push through A short. Now, how should your push look like if you're playing Viper in the first round? Classic, Light Shield, Snake Bite, and utility, you know. Just a second, I need to check something. I literally forgot something. Aha, Snake Bite is now 300. Sorry, I forgot, like, if they changed the price. So, in the first round, if you're pushing A site, Snake Bite, Classic, Light Shield, or Ghost with a Snake Bite. We start the round from this portion of A short area of the map, holding this angle. When our teammates are ready to push the site, we do this type of a wall, and we do the Molotov for the peak of the enemies in lamps. We open the wall, clear the short area of the map, take the control of the front side, take the control of the lamps, and we pray to God that our teammates are gonna move in, and that our teammates are gonna do the proper job entering the site. If you're playing Viper, of course. Once again, in the first round, we always do this wall. Snakebite for the lamps peak. Move in. Clear the angles. Push with your allies. And essentially, that's it. Sage should plant the wall here. We plant the spike here. And we play the post plant from the lamps, or depending what our teammates want to do, essentially. Let's see what our friend is going to do. I'm sorry, like, something came to my mind, like, we found that, never mind. I cannot. Listen, may I ask, what the fuck are we doing? So, if your teammates don't want to listen to your callouts, and they want to push B-set in this round, why are you playing alone in the A short area of the map? With the spike as well. Your teammates are pushing B in the first round. You push B with your teammates. Remember, the first round in Valorant should always be a 5-man aggressive push towards one specific objective. No lurking, no flanking, no playing slow, no playing passive. Period. And not a women period, like period, like a dot. In this round, your teammates want to go B. Okay. We buy the Ghost with a Poison Cloud, and we're pushing through B along with our allies. You can aggressively peek the enemies like this and clear the B long from top of the bench like this, or we can just go in front of our teammates, jump spot the enemies, and push together with them. Now, whenever enemies have a pop flash character on bind, any pop flash like Phoenix, Sky, Gecko, Omen, be ready for the flash in the B long area of the map. Play the anti-flash strategy. Bait your teammates, let them move in here, and you're just hiding here, waiting for the flash. Once your teammates reach that position, you move in with them. And in the first round, the setup that you want to do is the wall for the elbow, and you want to do just a regular smoke for the CT area of the map. And that's it. Now, for this CT smoke, it would be really, really good if you have some kind of a lineup to make a one-way smoke out of it. Like, basically the smoke should land on top of that position right there. I personally don't have a lineup for that because I never play Viper on bind, but probably like, you know, let's say we stand at a rock right here, aim for that position, like from this spot, we can definitely make some kind of a run and throw or, you know, jump and throw lineup for the CT area of the map. That's a no-way smoke. Essentially, like, try to make something. Like, as I said, like, I'm never play Viper on this map, but this is the setup that you need to give to your teammates. The smoke should go here. I cannot even do it from this spot. The smoke should go there, and the wall goes here. We open the wall, open the smoke, and we push together with our allies. That smoke there is also really good for the post plant as well, because it completely denies the enemy's push through the CT area of the map, and it's a complete one-way for the enemies pushing through CT. I really want to actually let me figure out something immediately, like how can we do this? How can we do this smokeroni? There's probably something on YouTube, but I want to figure it out. Where's this gonna land? Whew, that was close. Just a moment. That was also close. Fine, line up on Valorant. They probably don't have this one, man. That was mega close. Wait. So, if you stand here... Oh, it can actually go from this position. So you stand here at the rock. And aim... let's say aim... below the barrel. That's gonna hit the wall, no? No? Shit, that was... It shows you on minimap, but I wanna do a one-way there. Oh, bro, that was also mega close, man. Can you do it from this corner? Nah, it doesn't reach far enough. We need the same shit that Counter-Strike have, to be honest. Corner of the rock. Corner of the rock. And we aim we put our... Let's try to do this. Shit. What if we do this? That was close. I don't know, man. Like, I hate lineups in Valorant, literally. Fuck it! find it alone in a custom server. Like, don't play Viper Unbind. So, your teammates are pushing B site in the first round. You have no business in the A short area of the map as a solo controller on this map. You should have been B long with your allies.
They threw a fade hunt. We can probably go A now.
This right here is probably the worst way how you can play the first round in Valorant. Literally, I've seen some terrible first rounds, but this is probably the worst shit that you can do in the first round in Valorant. Your teammates are fighting solo. You're playing with a spike in A short, doing nothing.
Toxins going. Poison orb emitting.
Listen, man. Like, default setup when you're pushing A site with your allies, primarily through A short, should always be this wall. Like, don't do the wall that you did here. Like, right now, what he did this type of wall. The problem of this wall is like you let the enemies camp instead of this corner. Like, the wall needs to basically go over the box. Like this. Like, there's no other fucking way of placing the wall if we are not placing the wall for the fake lurk flank and to take the lamps control. Like, we do this wall in combination with a, you know, orb that you try to do. Like, I mean, try not to miss that orb, like, obviously. Like, the orb should go onto the A tower, essentially, and cover the A tower for you.
Toxin screen down. Poison's off.
Someone is A.
Enemy spotted A.
Listen. Another huge tip. When you're pushing onto the A set of bind, don't commit yourself immediately to planting the spike if your teammates are not covering you and if you didn't take some map control. Like, fuck planting. Like, planting the spike is your last priority. Last priority when you're playing on the attacker's side, in the full buy rounds and in a pistol round. Your number one priority is fighting the gunfights together with your allies and taking some space from the enemy team. If you already have 54 seconds to plant the spike, it really doesn't matter if you plant the spike at 54 or 4 seconds of a round. But what truly matters is whether or not your teammates are going to be alive for the post plant and whether or not you are going to be alive for that post plant. So here, as you were pushing onto the A set of bind, you should have first focused on taking the lamps together with your teammates. But there are obviously some enemies on the bomb site. Like, take the lamps first. Fight these fights. Wait for the rest of the team to come together with you. Once we finish all of the fights, and there is nothing better for us to do, plant the spike. If you have a Sage wall, we took the frontside control, lamps control, plant the spike. Anyways, this job of planting the spike, you should always try to give to your teammates in ranked solo queue. Basically, you know, when you're planting the spike, you're not doing anything. Essentially, like, you're not holding the gun, you're not holding the peak of the enemies, and you're relying on your teammates to do that for you. Like, very rarely you will see that I'm the one planting the spike. I want to be the guy holding the gun in my hands, protecting my allies. And protecting my teammates that are actually planting the spike at that moment of time. A lot of times I will carry the spike, But before I enter the site, I'm just gonna drop the spike somewhere in the main area of the map or give it to my teammates. Why do I carry the spike with myself? Because I don't want my teammates to send it, on the opposite part of the map or to make some kind of a bad game decision with a spike. I don't want to play the retake of the spike on the attacker's side. That's completely stupid.
One spike.
Poison orb emitting.
And here, for an example, we should have planted the spike when your teammates came in and when we got that wall from the Sage. But at the end of the day, we should also fight with our allies right now.
Weapon toxin screen down.
Last player standing.
I don't know here, why you turned your focus away. Your Sage was on the right side. You had only one job, but I don't even want to speak about this round. This round was fundamentally bad. This is not how we play Bind, essentially. We need to follow some very simple rules in Valorant that give us higher chances of winning the rounds in matches. First round, never lurk, never flank, never split, never play slow, absolutely dog shit. Play together as 5 and try to push something together. Second of all, enemies have Cypher. You have Sage on the attacker's side. We do a 5-man push through A short. Molly the lamps peak. Do the wall for the site. Easy bomb site control. It doesn't get more simple than that. I never, ever force the players that I'm coaching to be IGLs. But you need to communicate. But literally, you need to communicate in the first 4 to 5 rounds. At least on a macro level. Tell your teammates, hey guys, let's go A. Let's go B. Let's go C. You don't need to tell them specifically what to do. Just tell them where to go.
Is here.
Now, on Bind. On the attacker side. If you lose the first round, in a second round, the best idea is once again to push through the A short area of the map. That is the area of the map which you can easily take and where you can easily get some close range kills. Even with Viper. In this round, if I lost the first round, what I would do with Viper is the following. I buy the shorty with 1 snake bite. Yes, shorty. But you can also go for the classic pistol and snake bite. You do the wall for flank and lurk. This is your default wall that you do from time to time. If you want to basically backstab the enemies and then make them think, did you pass, did you not? To apply this is a pressure wall. We do that wall, jump spot the enemies, do the molly for the lamps peak, take the front side control, and focus on taking the lamps control. And once we take the lamps, we turn our focus towards the enemies here and here, and that's it. How I would play this round, shorty with snakebite and a wall. Or you can also buy the poison cloud. It really doesn't matter. Wall with a poison cloud for A short. Bam bam. Push in with a shorty. Bunny hop around, be a monkey. Get a kill in the lamps. 90% of times, someone is gonna play here. If they're playing with the shotguns, you got in a fair fight, which you can win. If they're playing with some other weapons, a lot of times in these lobbies I see players win the first round, and then in a second round they stay with a classic pistol and shorty. This is an easy kill for you. The easiest kill that you can get in the second eco round on Bind is here and here with this type of a setup. There's no reason to do anything else or try anything else. Okay, very good that he cleared the angles. He's clearing angles better than my ranked teammates with a keyboard and mouse.
Tag. My calibration is going.
Toxins going up.
Someone's angry.
Okay, this improvised wall, you know, from the showers is actually totally fine. You know, basically that's the only thing that you can do to block the vision of the enemies on tower and at the backside. But you know, if you already have a poison cloud, I would also use a poison cloud there to fully block the enemy's vision from the backside, so we can push in and contest the enemies. Like, instead of tapping this spike, like, you know, you should have tried to take some kind of a fight with the enemies. Like, in these eco and halberd rounds, like, you want to take the first fight that you can take with the enemies. Like, what I would have done here, I would have just pushed through this Viper wall at the backside and try to find some kind of a kill before the enemies rotate and before, like, my teammates are dying. Like, eco rounds, you always want to play like a monkey. Like, you want to, not like a monkey, but you want to play aggressively as a kamikaze. Like, you want to do some aggressive play to try to trade yourself for as many kills as possible. And once again, like, I don't know, like, doing this push through the showers, like, with a classic pistol in an eco round, not really the best idea on bind. Not the best idea at all. Now, in this round, enemies are playing a bonus round on a defender side of bind. Whenever enemies are bonus, eco or halberd, on a defender side of bind, you should always do a 5-man push through B long. Always. Now, with Viper, if you're doing this 5-man push through B long, how should that look like? We are doing our wall, not for the elbow, but we are doing it actually for the window area of the map. We're doing our poison cloud as a one-way right here, and with that type of a setup, we're pushing in. Essentially, we're doing a 5-man push through B long. You need some cover from the window. You need to have that shit. And you're just fighting for the elbow control and the side control. We can use our Molotov to deny the enemies from flashing us here, if you think that enemies are gonna pop flash you and kill you. If enemies don't have a pop flash character, then don't do that. And if enemies are never doing that, then save your Molotov. Always, on the attacker side, in the earlier stages of the game, when you're executing the bomb sites, don't save your Molotov for the post plant. Use it to pressure the enemies, to clear the angles, and to deny the enemies from peeking you on some position. The best Molotov that you can do when you're pushing the B side, like blind Molotov, is basically the Molotov for that peek there. Essentially mollying this area of the map so that this enemy cannot move and this enemy from the tube cannot peek us and kill us. Then we open the wall, open the poison cloud, and we move into the bomb site. Now this wall here can probably be a bit better, like I just winged it there, like, you know, this is probably much better, like, than what I did. Yeah, that's far better, like, yes, enemies can still peek us here, but with a Viper there is nothing better that you can do than this shit.
I was expecting me to do this 1A twice.
Once again, like, I don't know what you're doing here, like, playing solo. Like, in the first 4 to 6 rounds, we want to play together as 5, trying to abuse the 5-man executes to win the match. And only from the round 5 or 6, you should start lurking, flanking, defaulting, changing your playstyle based on what enemies are doing on the defender's side. A bind is a really hard map to be played on the attacker's side with random teammates. And by doing this, by using this type of a playstyle, you're gonna have even harder time winning on this map. And not to mention, like in the first 4 rounds, on both attackers and defender's side, you never trust your allies. You need to play with them, you need to refrag them, you need to see how good they are. Right now, all 4 of these teammates, they can easily die from the Phoenix pop flash, and then you're left 1 versus 5. For an example, you need to use your brain instead of them, essentially. Because I firmly believe that in this elo, they're not gonna expect the flash from the Phoenix, which is stupid. That's why right now, where I would play is anti-flash system. You know, like I would just hide behind this wall, let my teammates reach this corner, and then we push together with our allies. This is another mistake. Like in Valorant, when you're fighting the enemies, on both attackers and defender side, especially when you're taking 1v1 duels, always ask yourself who you're fighting at that moment of time and what that agent can do to fuck you up. For an example, if you're fighting pop flash characters, such as Phoenix in this example, you never want to be overexposed. You always want to move around the cover to take the duel with that enemy, so that you're able to dodge the flash. Like, there's no way right now I would be holding that Phoenix from this angle. If I saw the Phoenix is there, I am instantly changing my position and going here. And from this position, I'll be, you know, holding that Phoenix. Or I'll try to go all the way here and then engage the Phoenix. If you're fighting Jet players, you can usually expect a bit wider peek from these players. You know, instead of a jiggle peek, hold with your crosshair a bit wider peek. For an example. Like, who you're fighting depends how you should fight. How you should place your crosshair. How you should position your body. And on a controller, I don't know how fast you can dodge these flashes, to be honest, like if you're in the middle of open. Like, this same mentality and this same way of thinking, you also carry on a defender side as well. Like, on defense, you're consistently asking yourself, like, what this enemy's team composition can do to fuck me up on different spots that I play. Because, you know, for example, on Ascent, if enemies have a lot of pop flash agents and a lot of recon agents, these angles here are out of boundaries for you if you're not playing some kind of a double base setup and if your teammates are not there to support you. Or if you're not playing around your smokes, for an example. Same in this scenario. You saw the Phoenix there, you know who you're fighting, he can pop flash us at any moment of time. We should basically go here, and then from this angle, wait for the flash, and engage that Phoenix. But once again, this whole round we just played fundamentally wrong. Like, this is not how you play bind. This is not how we play bind. Now, so far, we know that Phoenix is playing B side. We know that Cypher is playing B side as well. And Clove is playing A side. With a fade. So basically, with that information, to be honest, like in this round, I will try to execute the A side. It seems easier, essentially. Now, with a Viper and Sage in the same team, I don't see a single reason why would I try contesting the enemies in the showers early on in a game. We have a wall to plant the spike. We have a Viper wall to cover a lot of different angles. Why would you go? Why would we do anything in the showers? Tell your teammates, hey guys, you know, this is not the best idea ever. Don't go showers. Sage, can you wall the middle of the site? I'm gonna put my smokes for tower and for the backside. Let's go in. We do the smoke for the... Sorry guys, misclick. We do the wall for the side here, like this. We do the smoke for the tower. We do the Molotov for the lamps. GG. We have taken the space. We push together with our teammates. Put the sage wall here. Plant the spike here. Take the lamps control. Take the frontside control. Done. Like done. When you have sage on icebox, planting the spike on the A side should be piece of cake. On bind, sorry, not icebox.
Poison orb emitting.
This wall that you're doing there is really, really bad, man. Like this wall, you should, like, this is not your default wall. Like, basically, with Viper, you only have, like, 2 walls when you're pushing A set through A short. Like, you're either doing this wall, like this, or you're doing this wall to take the, you know, lamps control and apply pressure onto the enemies. Like, this wall here is very, very dangerous that you're doing. The reason for that is, like, you're leaving this gap open. Enemies can hide there. Maybe Phoenix is there. He lets you push in. Pop flash you through that wall, kills you. For an example, I mean, he can pop flash through this part of the wall as well, but at least, you know, I don't want anyone to hide there. Unnecessary angle.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Toxin screen down.
That Molotov that you did there is like is a complete waste. I mean, I really don't know why you did a Molotov there. Like, enemy Phoenix was using the ultimate in the showers.
You're dead!
You know, this molly does nothing. Like, you want to do the Molotov on the attacker side to pressure the enemies and clear the angles once you're ready for the execute, once we're moving in. And on the A side, like, you know, basically, you have like 3 or 4 different positions that you want to molly. You know? Like, if you think an enemy is there, molly that, pull the enemy out, kill him. If you don't want your teammates to get peeked from the lamps, do this, let's move in. If you think enemy jet is playing on top of the truck here, look 90 degree up in the sky, place your crosshair towards the truck, you don't even need the lineup, you can just do this. And, you know, land the Molotov on top of the truck, essentially. But it would be good if you actually have a lineup so that we have, you know, we don't have any margin of error that can happen. Like, you know, these improvised lineups are not really the best when you need to be mega precise, obviously. Then, the second thing that we should be mollying is like this position as well. If you think an enemy is hiding there. And another thing that you can molly is like this spot here. If enemies love to push you through your wall, peek you and kill you. But your Molotov needs to be connected together with your teammates' push. Like, don't waste it. Like, why would you do a Molotov there if you're not pushing in?
Toxin screen down.
No, you don't.
Hey, let's rotate, let's rotate, let's rotate.
Yes. 4 toxins going up. Toxin screen down.
Now, this call out to rotate here is a really bad call out. Listen, guys. In the early stages of the game, so the first 4 to 6 rounds, instead of rotating on the attacker side, much better idea is to use this 20-second rule. If your push is getting stalled or stopped by the enemy team, we cut the noise for 20 seconds in the main area of the map. Like, we just fall back a bit. Make the enemies think that you're rotating. After 20 seconds, we reheat the same site. The reason why this is better in the early stages of the game is because you don't know if enemies are pushing behind you, if enemies are taking more space behind you. You cannot trust your teammates as well. God knows if your allies will keep the proper distance between each other. God knows what type of utility we're gonna have on the opposite part of the map. By following 20-second rule, you keep your teammates in check. And also, we can find a potential opening to surprise the enemies. Because after 20 seconds, what also happens in Valorant, an average Valorant player loses a lot of the focus. Like when they're holding the angles on a defender's side. That's the perfect amount of time to re-strike, re-hit the site. Also, after 20 seconds, enemies are maybe going to rotate to their original positions. Maybe some guy is going to be curious, like, are they still in the B main area of the map? Fade is maybe going to push you. We kill the Fade. We move in. 20-second rule is the best rule you can use in the first 6 rounds of a match, instead of doing a lot of rotations on the attacker's side. Unnecessary rotations. You should be rotating only if if right now you think there's like 3 enemies on the A side, okay, let's just rotate B. If you think there's only 1 guy on B side. But doing this blind, unnecessary rotations is really, really bad. Like on the attacker's side. This tripwire is really fucking bad. Like what is this, bro?
Hey, wait. Shift. Oh, right there. Oh, right there.
I mean, there's just mechanical skill here. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, as I said, like, I don't know how good he can aim with this controller. Like, I don't know all of the mechanical possibilities of playing Valorant on a controller. But fundamentally, once again, we play this round wrong. Like, what we should have done is just cut the noise and re-hit the A site. Like, that's how we played the early rounds. All 4 of these rounds, we played really, really bad in terms of a macro level. Like, you need to navigate your teammates a bit more. Tell them what to do. You know? Most of the times in these low elo lobbies, like, your teammates are just waiting for some kind of a call out. They're just waiting for someone to open the microphone. Yes, there's going to be times when your teammates are not going to listen to you. But just tell them, hey guys, let's push A, let's push B, that's it. Like, Cypher, don't lurk, like, play with us, that's it.
Breathe deep.
Another really bad thing that you can do on Bind early on in the match is prioritize the showers and lamps area of the map over the A short and B long. Like on Bind, on the attacker side, this is the main area of B site. This is the main area of A site. This is the short. This is the short. So this is the lurking area of the map and splitting area of the map, and this is the main area of the map. What does that mean? That means that in the earlier stages of the game, majority of your teammates and the spike should be focused towards A short and B long, while window and showers should just be an alt area of the map that we are trying to pressure, so that our push to the main area of the map is easier. Like, this is really bad. Like, I mean, we're having like 3 teammates going through showers. You're going alone with a spike through A short. Like, what the fuck is going on? And as I said, you know, if you're already going A site in an eco halberd round, you just give yourself the smoke here, walk into this smoke, take the kills in the lamps, or take the kills at the front side. Fuck the sheriff, man. You're playing bind. Buy the Bucky. Buy the shorty. Buy the stinger. Stinger. Why not? You can play all of these medium range and close range gunfights. But sheriff, like, I mean, like, I don't know. Unnecessary, like, unnecessary shit. You're just complicating things on this map.
Poison toxins going up.
He stole that monitor from my grandma.
Toxin screen down.
They're gonna be stacked B.
Go back A then.
This match is crazy, literally. Like I nobody knows what we're doing, huh?
Boys toxins going up.
Here.
I'm gonna give you one very important tip in Valorant, like especially for the low elo lobbies. The less you complicate things on the attacker side, the more success you're gonna find. Like you should just be following some very basic macro rules for that specific map, and that's it. You know, what is the default bomb site, what you should prioritize pushing based on your team composition, enemy team composition, what you should do when enemies are eco or halberd, and that's it. And in the earlier stages of the game, you need to prioritize 5-man playstyle. Because if the 5-man pushes are working, that's the easiest thing. Easiest way to win a match in Valorant. If they don't have a response to your executes, and they play retakes bad as well, enemies are just fucked. They cannot win that match. Plus, you always keep your teammates in check. You're ready to refrag them and ready to support them at any moment of time.
Toxin screen down.
30 seconds left.
Spike planted.
Enemy spotted.
Going up.
Listen, man, like, try to, like, first of all, here, while you should have done a much faster rotation. You know, one of the worst positions where you can be when you're playing the spike on A site is this position. Like, this is a suicide angle. You should never be there with a static character. Second of all, you know, when you're rotating in an overexposed position, try to eliminate these angles as soon as possible and move towards the safety. Don't spend too much time there. And also here, like, for example, you're peeking the A short while you're fully exposed from the bench and the bomb set on left. Enemies can still kill you from showers and from the backside. Like, if I want to hold the A short area of the map here, I'll just be, you know, here, like this. Take the cover. Like, overexposure is something that from which, like, a lot of the players in Valorant suffer. Like, you should be always asking yourself when you're positioning, repositioning, or holding the angles, from how many angles you're exposed at that moment of time. And you never want to be exposed from the angles that you don't see within your sight. Period.
Reloading.
Heal me!
Flash.
Reloading.
Now listen, man, like, if you're already playing Viper, and you save the Molotov, you know, enemies start retaking the A site through the lamps. Why don't you use the Molotov to pressure the enemies and split them apart, instead of taking a clean fight? After you got obliterated by your Phoenix Flash, just do this. Now, enemies are either forced to go back or to overextend and engage you in a gunfight that doesn't work in their favor. Also remember that this wall is fully spammable with high pen weapons. You could have tried, like, maybe to take a few shots here while you're and distract the enemies while your teammates are taking the fight. You know, do the Molotov, distract the enemies a bit, and then take the gunfight together with your allies. Like in a game of Valorant, like the whole point is, like, you never want to take fair fights with the enemies. You always want to take the fights that are working in your favor in some kind of a way.
Reloading.
Like that Cypher is, instead of your Sage, slow orbs, you have a Molotov, drop the Molotov first, and then pick that Cypher. I mean, even with the Molotov and orbs, he is already dead, essentially.
Remaining.
Yo, Doc.
Crazy VOD, crazy VOD. Okay.
Yo, Doc. Keep us topped up.
No.
I really don't care which agent you're playing. Even if you're playing Jesus Christ. Like, you should go through the B-long area of the map primarily in the first few rounds when you're pushing the B site. You should go through the window only if you really need to support your allies for some reason, or if it is part of some kind of a greater plan, team plan. Here, you're going long. And anyways, as I've said, one of the easiest things you can do on Bind, and the safest place, is doing a 5-man push through the B-long area of the map. Why? Because even if you get stuck in the B-long, so what? We always have a TP option to rotate fast, and enemies always need to be on the edge because of that specific option. Always. And that is the easiest way to keep your teammates in check and to not die from some, you know, nade, seize combo, like prowlers, flashes, I don't know, like a lot of bad things can happen here. And especially you, alone with a spike, pushing the B short. God help us. That right there is actually a solid setup, you know? It's okay. Like when you're pushing, basically like when you're pushing B set of Bind with a Viper through window, that's the only shit that you can actually do. Like there's nothing better, essentially. And that Molotov there was also good to clear that left angle, so that he can just focus on the right side. But a mistake that we made in this round is, like, when you're playing Viper, you need to activate your smoke setup as soon as your first ally is going through the choke point. Like here, for an example, your Jett is moving in. She crossed this line. Open the wall. Open the smoke. Even if you cannot capitalize on that utility, it doesn't matter. Like, you need to support your teammates. That's your purpose as a controller.
Someone's B.
It's crazy that you did a really fast setup, you know, for the B set push, and your teammates still don't have the smokes from you. How is that possible? You're playing a controller, man.
Poison orb emitting. Enemy down. Toxin screen down.
Flank.
your eyes.
Spike planted.
Listen, one more time. Always clear the bomb site first and fight all of the fights that are close to you and then plant the spike. Like here, the enemy Clove could have been on the B side. We don't know. We have no idea where is the Clove. She could be anywhere. We know that Faith is stuck in the hookah, in the teleporter. You should have cleared the site first and then focus on.
My ultimate is ready.
On site.
You should have died earlier, to be honest. Like, you know, Nostradamus charlatan. You should have died earlier, to be honest. Like, you have no idea. Like, if you don't have info about all of the enemies in that specific round, and you need to plant the spike, clear the site first, fight all of the fights. When everything is silent, then go for a spike plant. Like, the only rounds where you want to where you want to plant the spike as soon as possible and maybe risk your life planting the spike is if you don't have any more time to plant the spike, like there's like 5, 6, 7 seconds on the clock and you just need to stick it, or if you're playing an eco halberd round and you are in some kind of a disadvantage. Like, this mistake cannot happen. Like, this is the worst. Like, this is a 101 Valorant, essentially.
Sorry.
If we killed that Clove and then planted the spike, we would have won this round, obviously.
You could have just waited for it.
I need a drop. Cheers.
I mean, one really good strategy when you're playing it, you know, Viper and Sage Unbind is basically doing a 5-man push through showers. Sage can do the wall for the spike plant. Here, we plant the spike, use the Viper ultimate, and just play around that ultimate. You know, like that's something that's really good, especially in eco rounds and halberd rounds. Like, you can just buy a shorty, bucky, judge and try to shit on the enemies like that.
Retrieved the spike.
Top poison orb emitting. Don't get in my way.
Very good, very good.
Toxin screen down.
Reloading.
Just the thing is, like, here how you play instead of this smoke is very important. To be honest, like, in this example, I wouldn't go out of my ultimate. I will wait for my teammates to plant the spike, wait for the enemies to spam a bit my ultimate, and then I would go into my ultimate, I mean, onto the actual bomb site. Because if you die, then your teammates don't have any smokes, they don't have your cover, and the round can be really fucked up. Like here, I would be baiting my teammates a bit more, just to see where are the enemies, from which positions they are spamming us, and do I have a chance to go out at all.
Toxin screen down.
Reloading.
Also, one really good play with this ultimate that he did here. So basically, if you use the ultimate from this position, just a second, like this, the ultimate always curves behind the box here. So what you can do in these, you know, eco and halberd rounds is just play here in this portion of the ultimate, try to get into this spot as soon as possible, and then while the enemies are coming in, we just backstab them and fuck them up from behind. They will think that we planted the spike, you know, for the showers. They will drop all of their recon utility to clear this area of the map and this part of your ultimate, while in reality you're just playing inside of this corner, which not a lot, like basically low elo players from Iron to Ascendant 1, there's no way. Like, there's no way they're gonna expect you there. Never, like, literally, I didn't see even an Ascendant player checking that corner of this ultimate.
Toxin screen down.
Reloading.
Crazy, you know this, like, I know every like default and proper like Viper setup on every map. I just don't know the lineups. You know, I cannot be bothered learning them. Like the YouTube is filled with them. I will tell you what is a proper shit to do. Just the lineups you need to figure out yourself for, you know, poison clouds and molotovs.
Multiple enemies A.
Like, this is one of the worst ways how you can play instead of this ultimate, because you're fully overexposed. You know? All of your teammates are playing in the same spot. Enemies can destroy us. Destroy us, essentially. Like with a spam and utility. Like, you need to find better angles to play instead of the Viper ult. And in my opinion, the best angle in this ult is the one that I've showcased you. Hello? Video? Just lagged a bit.
Poison toxins going up.
Big things going up.
False dead.
Toxin screen down.
Okay. Okay. This is a solid strategy that can work. Like, it's all good. Like, thumbs up for this strategy. Basically, like, you know, doing a wall for this part of the map. Here. Then, like, doing a poison cloud here. Or for the tower. Doing the ultimate. You know, like this, essentially. Placing the sage wall here or here or here. Planting the spike. This can work, like, especially in low elo, like, 9 out of 10 times, in my opinion. If we properly take the shower's control, of course.
Get out of my way.
Now listen, I don't know how easy it is to jump spot on this setup, but whenever you're pushing an area of the map first, and you're not pushing on contact, you know, you're not shifting, you should always jump spot that angle. Always. Like here you need to jump spot this position instead of fucking peeking it. One more tip. Whenever your teammates are pushing the A site from showers, like you have 2 or more teammates going through showers, you need to give them the poison cloud for the backside, not for the tower. Like the tower smoke, it doesn't matter how good is this smoke. Enemies can always peek you on the right side and on the left side as well. And you leave this huge area of the map wide open. Wide open. Where your teammates can die from the enemy's pop flash, a random peek, stuff like that. Like, I don't know. Like from this spot, like probably you can just find some kind of a lineup for that position. Like we can just do something like maybe stand here, aim like something like actually, is it possible maybe from, yeah, you can do it from like you can just figure it out in a custom server. Like from this spot you can do it. Perfect. First try. You can copy paste this lineup like no problem, guys. My copyright, and then, you know, we use a default wall for the site if we're splitting through like A short, or we just use like a wall like this if we're just pushing through showers.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Spike down A.
But this is one of the worst ways how we can play attacker side of bind. Like prioritizing the showers control and pushing the A side through showers instead of A short. Like going through A short is a lot easier. Like showers is such a small choke point, and you know, you can always get pinched through the teleporter. Like fuck the showers, man.
Four toxins going.
And one thing that you can do with Viper, you know, like if like majority of your teammates are going through showers, or all of them, instead of cluttering this position, you can try lurking through A short. You know, we can give our teammates a smoke here. We can do the wall like this here, and then open up that wall to move in and take more space for our team, essentially. Try to get into this position, then open the toxin for your allies on the site, and try to support your allies from the site.
He's clear.
Toxin screen down.
One enemy remaining.
Hey, watch out.
There was CT last. Lamps is dead.
Okay.
Yo, Viper!
Spike down A.
Lamp.
It's okay. It's okay. Like, I probably would have also tried to molly the enemy there, but one rule that you follow when you have true numbers advantage, you want to stay away from using any unnecessary utility and just focus on the raw gunplay and refrag potential. Because that unnecessary utility, enemies might use to fuck you up based on timing, or maybe they can use that specific utility to outmaneuver you. And here there's actually no reason to do anything. Just hold the jet, hold your teammates, play with them, play the refrag, that's it.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
Oh, really? Yo, is that you speak Japanese, bro? I want to speak Japanese, bro.
You baboons.
penis.
Let's say
Penis.
Nice kill. Listen, like, when you're pushing the B short area bind, and enemies have a pop flash character, always path like this. Always. Like, never prioritize this pathing. In general, you should never path like this when you're pushing the B short. You should always let your teammates be the first contact, play the anti-flash as well, and just be ready to refrag your teammates at any moment of time. Period. This is way too dangerous.
Penis.
Let's say
Penis. What does that mean?
It means thank you.
Penis.
Wait, do you actually wait? What is that? Is that
I say
Japanese?
penis in Asian.
There's an orb
Yo,
emitting.
can you like teach me how to like? Can you teach me how to play?
Now listen. When you're pushing onto the B set of bind, even if you're pushing through the window, the most effective Molotov when you're pushing on bind, B side, is the Molotov for this. You clear this corner, essentially, you know, just put it a bit more to the right side, like that. You clear this corner from the enemies. Enemies need to move back, essentially, and you disallow the enemies to peek you through the tube. Like every other Molotov, like, you should do if you get the information about the enemies, you know. Backside Molotov, we should do, like, when you have the info that enemies are backside. But if you have zero info where are the enemies, just throw the Molotov there, and then push in. We disallow the enemies to play here, disallow them to peek us, because they're gonna step in the molly and be vulnerable, and that's it.
Can you teach me?
How do you say penis in Asianese?
Toxin screen.
Bro, these guys are like average NA lobby, huh?
Your fear!
And once again, I need to emphasize this to all of the players that I'm coaching and watching this, like, taking the B long control when you're attacking the B set of bind is mega giga important. Like, pushing the B side only with window control is pain in the ass. Hell of a time. You're way too overexposed. You need to drop down from the window to take the fight with the enemies. It's not really the funniest thing to do. essentially. Even if none of your teammates want to go B long, you should be one taking that control. You can play a bit slower, you know, like more methodical, but we need to take the B long control. Especially when your teammates are not capable of doing that themselves. You need to be there for them and do it together with them.
Last player standing. Spike.
Also, one more quick tip. Like, whenever you push one bomb set in Valorant, 3 rounds in a row, the best idea in the 4th round is to fake that bomb site and push the opposite one. Because when you push some bomb set 3 rounds in a row, you apply enormous amount of mental pressure onto the enemy team. Especially if you win all 3 of these rounds. Like right now, we won 3 rounds on the A site. In the 4th round, push, you know, fake A, push B. If no teammates go B long, do it yourself? Like, it's impossible. Like, it is possible, but it is highly improbable that you will do a solid 5-man push through window. It's really hard. So, what I was talking about, like, 3 rounds in a row, you push the same site. In a 4th round, call for a fake. Tell your initiator and the most useless teammate to fake the opposite part of the map, that bomb site, while you're taking the opposite part of the map. So, you know, tell your Phoenix and, I don't know, Cypher or Sage to fake A. In this example, while you and the rest of the team is slowly taking the B control.
Or.
Kill
You got
them.
or.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, let's go, guys.
All these deaths are because I'm on a controller, right? All these deaths are because you need to play smarter, like on a macro level on bind. You know. Like playing bind like this on the attacker side is just it's impossible. Like it's hell of a time, man. Hell of a time. Like having you know, how we're pushing on the map and how we're like, which areas of the maps you're prioritizing is just like crazy.
Can you teach me how to play? Can you teach me?
How do you say penis in Asianese?
Toxin screen.
Face your fear!
Nande.
Let's see the round here. Nice round.
Vamos a ganar esta ronda.
Is that for other places like that on other maps? Sunset A site, you always prioritize elbow. Lotus A site, you always prioritize the tree control. And that's kinda it, I think. I don't know. That comes to my mind. It's the VOD, guys, like, it's not us. Listen, another tip, like, I really don't want to speak about this ever again. When you're pushing through smokes, always push with your gun out when you're clearing the smokes for the first time, and push with your shoulder. Like, you need to flick inside of the smoke. Like, your shoulder should move in first, and then your gun.
Toxin screen down.
And this is exactly what I was talking about when I was telling you to crack this wall. Like, it is not worth keeping that gap there. Like, maybe you are gonna be aware of it, but trust me, your solo queue teammates are, especially in low elo, they're not gonna think about these opportunities. Like, this wall should be different.
Spike down A.
There's an orb.
And once again here, like, you did a bit of a premature Molotov, like... Anyways, like, your pushes are really delayed. You know, when you're splitting some bomb site, one of your main goals in Valorant is to synchronize the pushes from these 2 areas of the map. Like, how fast your teammates are pathing on the opposite part of the map depends how you should path in your part of the map, no matter what. Here, for example, if your teammates are just running with a W key through the shower area of the map, you need to push much faster through the A short area of the map in order to support them and to play together with them.
One's A. Dead.
Toxin screen down.
Okay. Nothing better he could have done.
I wish I learned
Like-
Japanese.
Probably know more about my own culture.
I only know
I want to
like
learn.
300 or 400 words right now.
I want to learn Japanese
damn.
and Spanish because that's like the most like
Pues,
used.
te puedo enseñar el español porque
Same problem, man. Literally the same problem. Like, you know, you already have a cipher that is lurking and flying. Like, I don't know. Like, carrying the spike alone in a window with Viper. That's a suicide move. Sudoku. Like, enemies can fuck you up in the windows in so many different ways. You don't have a single recon ability to scout for the enemies in window. It's impossible, essentially.
yo
That
sé
we are doing this.
como dos palabras.
Yo!
Alright, fast, please, go, go,
Toxins
go.
I know exactly where you are.
Poison orb emitting.
Also, listen, like I mean, your angle clearing can be much better, as well as your crosshair placement. But I really like. Don't know how good your crosshair placement and angle clearing can be on the controller. Like, for example, here, like, you know, before you do this setup from B short, you need to clear like this angle by jiggle peeking it, moving in and out like this, then clearing this off angle, then this position, and then once you clear this deep, you can actually take the orb, do it for elbow, and then do the wall. And if you're pushing alone, you know, through the window, you need to drop a molly basically here to clear that angle. If a smoke is here, you need to clear the smoke in and out. Like, go in with the shoulder, clear the smoke, then clear this part of the smoke here, and then you move out. Like, you just run through this smoke, like there's not a single chance that one enemy is maybe inside of it. An enemy could have been left, could have been right, could have been underneath you. Like, chill down. Like, it is always better to focus on doing things properly, even if that denies you some timing and like, you know, makes you a bit slower. But it's better not to be dead and to be alive, let's be honest. Because if you're dead, like, you're not really useful to your teammates.
One on
Toxin
site.
screen down.
Last player.
One on
Toxin
site.
screen down.
Last player.
It's pretty easy to clear angles on controller. I mean, he's playing a PC version of a controller, so I don't know, like, what are the limitations.
One on
Toxin
site.
screen down.
Last.
Take anything.
But once again, like, I don't know, like, this gameplay that you're watching right now on Bind is how not to play Bind, how to have the lowest win rate on Bind on the attacker's side, and how to, like, complicate things. That's how his gameplay is called. Like, fundamentally, playing Bind like this on the attacker's side is just, especially in low elo, on a macro level, like, it's like, you're gambling a lot. A lot.
You guys
A
got
lot.
Jose?
Let me show you how the boss does it.
Hey, you guys slow push B. We're gonna try faking A.
Yep, sounds good.
Now listen. If you're faking some bomb set in Valorant, you don't need 3 players to fake that site. 2 players should always fake. 1 player that has a lot of utility, usually an initiator. 1 player that is useless for our execute on the opposite part of the map. And we need some kind of a smoke from a controller. So in this round, what I would have done, I would have actually given my team as the wall for, you know, A short. this or this. Then I would have rotated, pick up the spike, and we have a smoke. In this team composition, Phoenix should be the one faking, and either Sage or Cypher. And you, together with Jet and one more teammate, are slowly taking the space on B side. Now, when do you want to start taking the space in B long area of the map? And window. Once your teammates get some harder contact with the enemies on A site, or once you hear that enemies are rotating from B. Like, the timing is really important when you're taking the space on the opposite part of the map and when we are faking something. And we need to have at least one smoke or one piece of utility on A side from a controller to make the push believable, more believable essentially. And I always advise you to be in the group of the players that are not faking, if that is possible. Because if you die while faking a site, only God knows what your teammates are going to do on the opposite part of the map. And how fast, you know, how they're going to pace through that area of the map. And also, that is the second problem that I wanted to talk about. If you're the one faking, well, only God knows how fast or how slow your teammates are going to take this part of the map. Like here, for example, we should not peek B long area of the map until our teammates make a hard contact with enemies. Somebody dies, or they take more space from the enemies, or they take some really hard duels. But here, like, you know, now when you're here, maybe enemies don't know where you are. We didn't make a single footstep in showers. Right now, one enemy can be jump spotting the B long area of the map. They reveal you, they see the spike is here. You know. Maybe they kill us here in the B long right now. With the Phoenix, Paw Flash, and Ultimate. Was then the point of this fake?
Joke's over. You're dead.
To be honest, like here, I don't know who's faking. Are we faking or our teammates on A side? This is the timing to move in.
And where is everyone hiding? My ultimate is ready.
Okay, okay.
Spike planted.
Alright, you guys got this, bro.
I have lineups. Also, they're TP.
Hey, TP.
One thing that he should have done here, like, is he should have done this this wall, basically for the window, because enemies are either gonna go through CT or they're gonna take a TP and go through the window. At least we block one angle, you know, from which enemies can kill my teammate on site and kill us. And, you know, we have the poison cloud and for the spike. But in this example, like, it's kind of stupid to play with the lineups because Cypher has a really good setup for CT here. We have a Molotov, like, it would have been much better if he just played together with his Cypher on a refrag potential here. Especially because in these 2v2 retakes, most of the times, like, what enemies do, they're like separated. Very rarely I see the players like in low elo lobbies, they actually play together. These 2v2 retakes. Like right now, probably one enemy is gonna go through CT, one enemy through window, and we can easily isolate 2 versus 1 fights instead of fighting God knows what right now.
My eyes are down. Found you. Careful now.
One enemy remaining.
Nice, good play.
But she still has the
One
ultimate.
enemy remaining.
Good play.
Cypher clear them. Cypher clear them.
Last
we win
player
definitely.
standing.
But he should have peeked. You know, when Claw did the ultimate and Cypher got 2 kills, he should have fought with the Cypher on the side. You know, try to refrag him. Like that Claw peeked all the way on the right side there. Try to refrag the Cypher. Why not, man? I mean, anyways, you have a Molotov. Like you can molly that spike from any angle. To be honest, You have a poison cloud, like,
Last
it's,
player
it's an
standing.
easy kill for you anyways.
Oh my gosh.
Poison orb emitting. Poison's off.
Clutch.
Oh, yeah. Listen, just from now on, if you're playing a 2v2 post plant, play on a refrag potential with your allies. You know, fuck the lineups. Especially now with the nerfed like Molotovs, like, and then nerfed Viper. Fuck the lineups and just play with your teammates. Like, trust me, 90% of times, 80% of times, in low elo lobbies, enemies are gonna play separated. You'll take 2 versus 1 fights. That's it. Period. Now, this attacker side was very interesting. To be honest, like, you didn't lose these 7 rounds because you're playing on a controller, like, which is really funny. You actually lost them because you're playing map wrong on a macro level. You know, what you're prioritizing and how you're playing around your teammates. Which is good, actually. That means that even on a controller, you can actually maybe get immortal, like, on, you know, controller on PC. So, yeah. And defender side is, you know, where you can actually control your rounds and your matches a bit more with this type of a setup. So defender side is going to be more important, like, than what you did on the attack. But on the attack, if you just manage their teammates a bit better, if you played bind a bit better, like, on a macro level, I think you could have won this half 8-4 or 9-3 without any problems. I'm really curious to see, like, what I'm gonna see on the defender side now. So let's move on to the defender side. Okay, now let's continue with this godforsaken VOD review on a defender side. So, TLDR. How do we play bind on a defender side? Your number 1 priority, B site. Number 2 priority, A site. You don't want to sell any of the main controls without contesting the enemies a bit at least. Essentially, your starting position can never be deep into, you know, at the backside, basically. Like, we want to get that information for our teammates as soon as possible, so they can rotate faster. And we want to contest the enemies a bit more aggressively, like in the choke points, because every choke point of bind works in a favor of defender side players. Now, in the first round, you always play on the B site. In the second round, you always play on the B site. The only times when you should play in the second round, A site, is if the enemies in the first round push B and we completely fuck them up. Now, in the first round with Viper, if you're playing Viper as a solo controller on this map, there is only one smoke setup that you need to do in the first round. So, you're buying Classic Pistol, Light Shield, Poison Cloud, or you're buying Ghost with a Poison Cloud. You're putting the Poison Cloud for A short right here. I mean, it should end there, essentially, as a one-way, obviously, before the round starts. You're rotating fast towards the B site and doing this type of a wall. The wall should go through the window, cover the B long, and go inside of the teleporter. So it also walls the showers. But don't do the wall like I did it. You know, like, don't be a boosted gorilla. Like, do it like this. Basically, your teammates in shower should have a support. Your teammates in hookah, I mean on the B side, and we have a one-way smoke for the A short area of the map. We cover all of the choke points for our team, and that's what you need to do, unfortunately. This setup is also really good because it allows you to aggressively take the showers and to support your teammates if they're fighting aggressively in that area of the map. And also, when you're doing this default wall for the B site, there's a lot of the gaps that you can use inside of this wall to outplay the enemies. Basically, when the enemies are pushing the window, you can hide in this position, try to surprise enemies on timing and try to kill them. You can play inside of this crack right here in some eco and halberd rounds and try to surprise the enemies. But this type of shit you should save like later on during the match if you're playing like some kind of an eco halberd round. Also, if you place this wall slightly more towards the left side, you can try playing inside of this corner right here with some close range weapon like Bucky, Shorty, or some crap like that, and try to trade yourself for kills in those eco and halberd rounds. Now, this is the setup that you need to do in the first round if you're playing Viper as a solo controller. Like, there's no other setup. Basically, you need to cover everything for your team. And you should always play on the B side. Basically, you should start by holding the window and getting the information about the enemies here. And then we can try outplaying the enemies around the wall, or simply play together on a refrag potential together with our allies. There's nothing else you can do, essentially. And there's nothing else that you should do with a Viper. Now, jiggle peeking this angle with a classic pistol is just pointless, because on this range, classic pistol has a really high bullet spread. No matter how precise you are, like, your bullets are gonna go like, you know, you need like 50% of luck to hit a headshot on this range. So if you're already starting the lamps, like, just jump spot the enemies, or jiggle peek them with a knife out, and get the information like that. It's not even worth taking this fight with a classic ever.
Jump spot.
What's up, say?
Poison orb emitting.
That's gonna dash on us.
Now listen, with the Viper on A short, like, you can do this smoke from time to time, but ultimately, this is the best poison cloud that you can give yourself and your teammates. Like, it fully blocks the enemy's vision on top of the, like, boxes, and for the A short area of the map. And also in some eco and halberd rounds, we can try playing around this smoke and trying surprising the enemies, like with a Shorty, Bucky, Stinger, and trying to trade ourselves for some kills before enemies stomp our teammates on the bomb site. This smoke and also this smoke here is great for the retakes, because it fully blocks the vision of the enemies in the whole A short area of the map, and enemies cannot peek us from top of the boxes or, you know, any other angles.
Careful now.
Well, that's a waste of utility.
Poison's off.
Reload him.
Oh my gosh.
Watch it like that.
Okay.
Poison orb
They're on
emitting.
site.
I mean, generally speaking, like, when the enemy smoked you here, like, this was a okay play, to be honest. Like, playing together with your Phoenix and trying to, you know, double down the enemies together with your Phoenix. I don't know what type of utility your Phoenix has, because if I was this Phoenix, I would definitely go for some kind of an aggressive flash play and try to support my teammates with a fresh. But, yeah.
Poison orb
They're on
emitting.
site.
And this here was just a triple shot difference, to be honest, but in Valorant, like, whenever you're playing with your allies and you get refragged, it's okay. You know, you didn't die for nothing, essentially. This setup was okie dokie, like, nothing really to talk about that much. There's nothing better he could have done. This is that, like, 20% of luck in Valorant. Now listen, like, as I said, like, in a second round of bind, if you lose the first round, like, in a second round, you should do the same shit, basically play on the B side, and play some kind of a classic pistol shorty strategy. Like, what you can do is, you can simply do the wall that we talked about, like this, and play in one of these 3 corners that you create for yourself. And basically try to, you know, pick a right timing to push the enemies out with a shorty and get like 1 or 2 kills. Now, second thing that we can do, we can buy the poison cloud, and the poison cloud can also be placed here, same as the omen's smoke. Now, I don't know the lineup for that shit, like, but there is a pixel here where the poison cloud can actually land. This type of lineups just find on a, you know, in a custom server yourself. And you can do the same play that we do with Omen, you know, like with a fake one-way smokes. Or simply you can, you know, just do a regular poison cloud here, play with a classic and shorty, pick the right moment of time to strike the enemies, and that's it. But I would fully gamble on the B set in a second round if enemies, you know, if enemies didn't push B in the first round and we didn't fuck them up. Yeah.
Yeah, you tried to steal it.
Now listen, even though Bind is a slow rotation map on a defender's side, in the first 3 to 4 rounds, you should be rotating on the first contact between enemies and your allies. Because you don't know how good or bad are your allies, and you don't know how good or bad are the enemies on the attacker's side. And then from the round 4 or 5, you always base your rotations based on what happened during that match. You know, based on what info enemies like gave us in the previous rounds. How they played.
Here.
On me.
No charges left.
I don't know why you left the window here. Like, I would have definitely tried to play a bit more aggressively in the window and try to kill the enemies there. I mean, like, you know, we can also kill the enemies from the side, but they still have like a, you know, fade reveal, fade dogs, like, I don't know. You know, the easiest kills you can get on Bind is like shitting on the enemies in the window with a double shotgun bait or something like that. You know, like you can basically put a shorty here, get a classic pistol, drill P the enemies for the info, destroy the recon utility from the enemies, pick up the shorty, take a kill, get out. Here you need to pay attention, like basically, or I mean, Cypher has some camera on the site, like he probably sees the window.
Toxins going up.
That Molotov there was very premature, man. Like basically, enemies didn't even start pushing, and you did a Molotov. When you're doing the Viper's Molotov, like the best moments of time to use the Molotov is when enemies are in some kind of a fucked up position, like they are stuck. When the enemy duelist enters the site, so you split the duelist from the rest of enemy team, and also like using the Molotov to support your allies or to support some kind of a play from your teammates. Like here, you know, we have a tripwire in the window. It would have been much better if you dropped this Molotov when the tripwire triggers. Then, when your Cypher peeks that vulnerable enemy, with a triple shot of a classic pistol, that enemy is dead. And here, like, you lost also a lot of information for the B-long area of the map. I mean, if you already didn't want to play more aggro in the window, you should have played B-long, jump spotting the enemies. Like, we don't have information how much space enemies have taken from us. Enemies can storm onto the bomb site at any moment of time, push us and destroy us. And our teammates cannot rotate fast enough to support us. Like, this info you should never be losing. Like, I mean, it's very important.
Go back A!
Down here.
Why go back A? I mean, like, enemies are literally close to B.
That's long.
Toxin screen down.
Oh my god, this fade is like crazy.
Listen, remember one rule in eco rounds. Like, in eco rounds, your job is not really to win them. Not really, like, to play... Like, you should never play them in a default way. Your job is to trade yourself for as many kills as possible by abusing some cheesy, aggressive, or passive strategies before your teammates start dying. That's why in this round I would have used some kind of a setup like that, basically playing around my wall or classic shorty in a window, like anything that can allow you to take some free kills, make a small numbers advantage, and then play with your allies. And I mean, even if you die in that process, it's okay. Like, your job in these rounds is not really to stay alive. Your job is to trade yourself for as many kills as possible before your teammates start dying left and right. So the first opportunity you get to fuck up some enemies, delay their push a bit, take some kills, take them. Take them.
Last player.
This was very good, but I mean, like, as I said, like, I don't know how hard it is to aim on this thing here. If that was the problem or something else, you know, like, basically this was a free kill. Very good play. I would have also peeked out. And if we killed this Clove, we would have been like in a probably 1v1 scenario. And maybe your Phoenix could have clutched this. Maybe you would have killed this Fade as well.
Like crazy, bro.
This was a really good peek, really good timing. Just, I don't know what, you know, how hard it is aiming on this thing.
Just fly with us, because
Listen, on a defender side, you should always prioritize, like, Poison Cloud over the Molotov. I mean, you're a controller. You know? Like, you need to smoke for your teammates. We need to smoke the choke points. Like, you know, that's our only job. And if you're playing Viper as a solo controller, we really need that Poison Cloud. And in almost every single round, you should be doing the setup that I told you to do. Basically, a wall that goes like this. I mean, that's your default setup. That should be your default setup on bind. And you're changing that setup based on, like, what enemies are doing, what your teammates are doing, and how much you need to support your allies. You know. And now you're asking yourself, like, but I don't have time to do all of this because there, you know, it's a lot of rotating left and right. That's why, like, one lineup that you should definitely learn with Viper is doing the Poison Cloud from the CT. Once again, I have no idea how to throw this, but just go on YouTube, spend some time in a custom server. You should be able to throw a Poison Cloud from this position all the way here. Just go in a custom server, figure it out yourself. Like, it really is not that hard. Like, you know, for an example, we can stand, I don't know, like, on this line, aim, let's say, aim, put our, put, what can we use here as a lino up. I mean, from this position, it should be easy to do it. Like, just figure it out in a custom server alone. Like, I really hate talking about these lineups and shits. Is it that? Not yet. Figure it out later.
if we lose,
But that's really important because you don't have enough time to do the wall and then rotate on A to do the smoke. But if you're doing, you know, I mean, also you don't have time. If you want to play B site, you also need this lineup because you need to do the Poison Cloud for A short and then run fast B to do the wall.
around, then you just have to take again anyways.
Yeah. Bar Marshall.
I mean, that's a bit of overstacking You know, like both you and Cypher playing like in lamps is too much, man. And that's really too much. Like, we don't have any info about the enemies in the showers. That's really bad, bro. Like here, for an example, you know, if there's only 2 of you guys playing A, and you're not going for some kind of an aggressive play, going showers, jumps for the enemies, or this should be the first angle that you hold. Like, once again, we're losing tons of info. And in this round, playing on A set is actually good. Why? Because in the first round, enemies went A. In the second round, they went B. So we can instantly apply the rule of fear, an ABAB rule, to, like, read the enemies.
Here.
Toxins going up.
I mean, this wall is really fucked up, bro. Like, this wall is okay for, once again, playing some eco weapons, halberd weapons, you know, doing these weird setups in eco rounds is okay. But this setup in a full buy round, when enemies are bonus, giving them all of the space here, that's crazy, man. I mean, like, that's really, really, really crazy. You know, you could have done this to block the vision of the enemies in short and window. If you already don't have a poison cloud, but this setup against enemies that are eco and halberd. I mean, bonus round. They're playing a bonus round. God help us right now. And listen, number one rule of spamming enemies through the smokes and through the walls. You only want to spam the enemies, number 1, when they are revealed and you can easily kill them. You know exactly their location. Number 2, if the distance between the smoke or wall and you and an enemy works in your favor. Basically, the distance between this wall, you, and an enemy needs to be either equal or you need to be further away from the wall. Because if you're close to the wall, it's easier for the enemies to find your body, to find your head, and to delete you from the existence. Spraying through that wall, insta death. And one more time, this is very important for all of the players like that are playing agents with Molotov abilities and nades. Like, the best timing for you to use a Molotov or a nade to stop or delay the enemy's push is when the first enemy crosses the choke point. You want to separate that enemy from the rest of his team and fuck him up before the rest of the team joins that enemy. Like, that is the timing you're searching for.
Going up.
That right there was a Sudoku move. You know what would be fine here in this round? If he maybe played with the judge and sheriff in the lamps, he baited the enemies to come into the lamps and kill them with the judge. Something like that. But this setup was like,
Stay alive, Cypher.
I don't know. Like when enemies are bonus and halberd or eco, you don't want to give them this type of kills, you know? And also, like, you don't want to close the gap with the enemies. You could have just bought a Vandal or Phantom, hold the shower's pixel angle, and play a bit more passively. A bit more, like, whenever enemies are bonus eco or halberd, you primarily want to win that round on a refresh potential. And together with your allies.
I'm like, kill all of them, bro.
Go ahead.
Now, in this round here, I will definitely play the B side, but since we have 4 teammates on B, that's kind of impossible. Like in this round here, we should be doing... Kumara, thank you for the raid, man. In this round here, we should be doing some kind of a smoke setup to outmaneuver the enemies and try to take some easy kills. So for an example, in this round, what we can do is once again, our default wall for our allies on B, because there's a huge chance enemies are going to go B this round. A one-way here, and maybe we can play around that one-way. You know, when enemies cross this line, we open the smoke, and we try to push out with a shorty, Bucky, Stinger, and get maybe like 1, 2, 3 kills.
Literally, because I know they're over here.
Alright, crouch down.
Yeah, I know, bro, I know. Alright, you just sold, bro. Oh my god.
I mean, right now, playing in the showers and solo A is gonna be really hard without like a smoke setup on any smoke setup on A. I mean, maybe you get away with 1 kill or something, but
Suck.
it's gonna be hard.
Jet, you suck.
Bro, you just sold that, bro. That was like the
You saw that. You fatty.
I mean, in this round, it's like it would have been much easier for you to get a kill through that one way on A short. Like as I said, your job in these type of rounds is not really to stay alive and play default. Your job is to be more aggressive. Try to trade yourself for the kills. Try to be unpredictable, you know. Like maybe, you know, what we could have done is tell our Phoenix brother, you know, I'm gonna use a smoke here. Can you use a flash? Let's push out. That's also okay play, you know? Why not? Risk it for the biscuit. Maybe we win the round.
Poison's off.
Shut up, bro. You're yapping.
Poison's off.
And one thing that I've noticed is like, you really need to pay more attention which weapon you're using and what type of fights you want to play. Like, with a classic pistol, you're trying to take some long-range fights. With a Stinger, you're also not fighting on the range that's actually suitable for that specific gun. You know, here, if enemies are pushing A, you don't really want to hold this angle and contest enemies on this range in the showers. But go in the, you know, go in the lamps. In this elo, I highly doubt players are going to have a proper crosshair placement. Dodge the enemies like recon utility and flashes and try to kill 1, 2 enemies there. Or simply wait for the smokes, get in the smokes, and try to kill the spike planter and enemies on the side.
Poison's off.
They're all here.
Here, you should have supported this Phoenix. Phoenix did a really good flash for us. Really aggressive play. This was your call.
Spike down
Very good.
A.
Someone is A.
One more.
Okay, one guy showers, one guy teleported.
Showers.
Listen, in these case scenarios, when one enemy is fully separated from the rest of his team, try to pinch that one enemy and kill him before they reconnect with the rest of the team. Right now, we either hunt the fade before the Cypher rotates, or we're hunting the Cypher
Hey, they're all here. They're all here.
together with our team.
One TP, B1 showers. You two stay on it.
Watch your eyes.
We can just wait
Okay, he can be elbow easily.
for plant. Chill.
Ooh, he's on the site.
One enemy remaining.
Last guy's elbow.
Come here, Aura.
Green aura and flies.
Okay, solid round.
We get a
Do your thing.
I don't know. I'm really not a fan of this smoke, man. Like, really not a fan. Like, it's really dangerous because it looks like this. It gives the enemies this space here to move into the site. I mean, this smoke also does that, but the thing is, like, with the smoke, at least it's a one-way and it fully covers this position as well. So if you hear the enemies... I'm Scar, welcome back, bro! So if you hear the enemies getting on top of the box, you can spam them and easily kill them because they're in your pit. You know?
I'm gonna hold showers.
Get out of my way!
Hey.
Snare.
Poison orb emitting.
Bro, they keep going A, bro.
Listen, man, like, if you're holding the showers and you don't see any enemies coming through showers, fuck it. Like, you need to support your teammates on site. Like, right now, your Cypher is alone. God knows what the Cypher is gonna do. And also, one more thing that is totally fine to do. Like, if you have... You know, if you're holding some main area of the map, and your teammates are pushing... and enemies are pushing from the opposite area of that bomb site, you think that one enemy might come through showers, lurk, and backstab you. Feel free to use a Molotov, kill the enemies on the site, take some fights with them and try to support your teammates, and then take a look at the showers. I mean, there is a chance enemies are gonna run through this Molotov, but if they run, you hear them. And walking through that Molotov, I mean, I don't think anyone is ever gonna do that, especially not in this lobby, to be honest. Now here we should have supported our Cypherman. He needs our help. They have the lamps control as well. God help us.
One was showers.
I would have done the Molotov for that Cypher. That was lurking through showers and supported my Cypher on the site. I mean, it is much more important for me to make sure that my teammates are alive on the site, and especially my Sentinel, you know, than taking this one kill. Like, your Cypher could have died, he could have sold the whole site to the enemy team, and then, like, you are kinda cooked in the showers. I mean, not cooked, but you need to take some nasty shots.
One enemy remaining. Team Ace.
I stopped playing Valorant and went to Rust, aka the game whose fucks your mental and waste time, but it is fun. Lying shit is fucking my brains because of Russian. Rust was always fun for me, but I never really tried playing it. To be honest, the only game that I enjoy these days is Deadlock. Deadlock is really super fun for me. And Marvel Rivals.
You guys, that's why me up. Hell, you.
Let me test something, like, because, you know, it's kind of criminal that our teammates,
This is what I live for.
30 seconds left.
If you lose focus, you die.
So you have 30... Is the preparation time in Valorant 30 seconds? Or 20? For the regular rounds? I always forget that. Hmm?
Isolate and exterminate.
30 seconds left.
It's hard not to play with my food. Hopeless mice.
30 seconds left.
MMR as well, so won't ever turn to Valorant. 45 and 30. Okay. But I mean, like, 30 seconds is plenty enough. Like, plenty enough. To do this wall. And to do the...
I want to see you crawl.
To do the poison cloud right here. Plenty enough.
This gun's getting so tough, bro. Oh my gosh.
Wait, no. Cypher, don't set up here. Don't set up here. Don't set up here. We're gonna.
Now, one more tip. Listen. If you already want to use your poison cloud for A short, here, don't use it before the barrier drops down. Use it after the barrier drops down. Like, this poison cloud cannot look like this. You're giving the enemies all of this space to push here, 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 and to quickly close the gap with you on the site. Like, if you already want to do the low ground smoke, do it somewhere there. The same way how would you know, how we use like the smokes of Omen, Brimstone. In the same way, we should use the Viper smoke as well.
We're gonna wall this. We're gonna wall this off.
You guys just warm me up. Oh, hear me, Sage. Sage, hear me, please. Daddy. Thank you.
And listen, like, if you're playing ASAT alone, you cannot play inside of the showers. Especially not against the Eco and Halba enemies. Like, it's way too dangerous. It's not worth it. If we're already doing a gamble for the B side, we're just playing the retake of A. You can still try to get some kills, you know? But, I mean, we cannot start here. Like, enemies right now can walk through the A short and completely F us up. Like, you can maybe start here and do the silent jump spotting to check for the enemies in showers and check for the enemies in A short. Or just start from the tower and play it super passively and try to maybe kill the enemies through your smoke and poison cloud. Also, as I said, like, no matter what type of smoke enemies give you here, you always have this gap and this gap to potentially get a kill and then go back. But playing this aggro in this round, like, I don't know, we'll see. Like, I mean, it's fundamentally bad.
I hear nothing.
Like, enemies could have walked in A short long time ago.
Hey, someone go A with Viper. Someone go A with Viper.
Enemies can literally be in the lamps.
3.
Dead fool.
And here, like, we made a repositioning mistake. You know, like, if you already have numbers advantage, and, you know, you don't need to commit to the fights that much. Like, why would you, in this example, play this angle as a one and done angle? And commit yourself to taking these skills. Now here, if you already have a numbers advantage, I'm just gonna hold this angle, try to get a kill onto the jet. When enemies are pushing close, I can separate them and fuck them up with a Molotov. I can also spam them here and try to get a kill through the wall and then reposition the site. Like, the first fight that you take in Valorant, in the full buy rounds, should almost never be a 50-50 fight. A fight to which you need to commit, and only your raw mechanical skill decides the outcome of that fight. It should always be some kind of a 70-30 or a 90-10 gunfight, where you're using your utility to outplay the enemies, some off angle, pixel angle, elevated position, or setup. Like, right now, you know, we are gonna pray to Jesus Christ that our teammates are gonna win this round.
5.
Spike.
They do win it, but, you know, in these lobbies, like, whenever you die, only Jesus can help us. I mean, listen, like, especially if you're taking the showers aggressively, that wall is really good that we talked about. You know, like, whenever you're doing the B wall, just do it through the... Do it, like, through the teleporter. So it's end up in this area of the map as well. And then, you know, like, maybe in some rounds what we can do, like eco rounds and halberd rounds, if enemies never saw us push this wall, we can just go here, close the wall, and then maybe try to lurk and flank and surprise the enemies. Like, maybe you and Phoenix or someone from your team, you know?
Joke's over! You're dead!
Camera taken out.
There, hey.
Poison orb emitting.
Just stay in showers. We
Go,
can
go A,
reset.
go A, go A. Someone go A. Someone go A.
Everyone come A. They're planting here.
To be honest, the decision here to stay in the showers is probably the best. I mean, like, right now, stopping the enemy's push and killing them is kinda impossible. But maybe I would try, you know, like... I would try to maybe take a kill on a spike planter or something like that. Like, I mean, right now, in this elo, there is no way that enemies are gonna expect two of you guys playing in the showers. Like here, as long as we play some kind of a baiting strategy, I think we can be good for like maybe 2 or 3 kills.
What the heck?
See ya.
Poison's off.
They never go B, dude.
Spike down A.
It wouldn't be last one. Backside.
Backside one?
In the ace.
Once again.
Reloading.
Once again. Like, remember one rule in Valorant. It's always better for you to die in the process of repositioning, in the process of trying to make a right play, rather than dying on a position that is bad for you, or by doing some kind of a bad play. I wouldn't commit to this fight. I'm 4v2, like, pull the knife out, jump towards the choke point, you have a Molotov, when this enemy is pushing close, Molotov, peek out, easy kill. You know, you can just go for 3 body shots and kill him.
Wait.
One shower.
Very good, very good.
One enemy remaining.
Alrighty then.
Now we fight together.
No! You're not gonna get ace. Ha!
That's not fighting together. That's not fighting together. And one more rule that I would give you in solo queue is whenever like when you're playing in the low elo lobbies, from Iron 1 to Ascendant 1, like if you have numbers advantage, true numbers advantage, usually you should let your teammates be the first contact with the enemies, and you be ready to refrag them. Because you never know in solo queue if your allies are gonna have the confidence to refrag you, and if they're actually gonna do that. So instead of gambling on that aspect, you know, are my teammates gonna play with me, are they gonna refrag me and stuff like that, stick to their buttholes, to the buttholes of your most aggressive teammates, and play with them.
Oh, bro.
This is still losable. Operator. Well, why not? Why not?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we could have noticed that enemies have like terrible smokes and utility users for the A side. Like basically like enemy Clove is using a smoke here and here. Tower is fully open. Like right now, I would just, you know, we can start by holding some kind of a angle close, rotate at the backside. Basically, this is what I would do. We take the op. We can start by maybe holding this angle and trying to get a shot. I would rotate here, try to get the kill onto an enemy there, and then I would just, you know, molly the spike plant and rotate onto the tower. And from tower, try to kill more enemies. I mean, even with Viper, yeah, you should be buying like every weapon that you think you can use to get easy kills and win the round. And, you know, buy the shorty with the operator or buy the sheriff, like whatever you prefer as a secondary weapon. Now, you're probably asking yourself about Charlatan. What is the good smoke setup then? Well, the good smoke setup is like doing a smoke here and doing the smoke right here. Like this smoke is much better on this angle, because it fully blocks the vision of the tower and the backside. And in combination with this smoke here, we provide the support for both our teammates through the showers and our teammates in A short area of the map. And smoking tower is just pointless, like literally like doesn't do anything.
We are gonna wall you out.
Exactly.
No.
Unless it's a one-way smoke.
Poison orb emitting.
Oh yeah, this is also something that I forgot about. Very good. Very good that we're thinking about this. But I wouldn't play this angle, man. You know, like, hold this. You know, hold the bench peak. Kill an enemy there. Wait for the enemy's push. surprise them, kill them. Hide here, you know? When the enemies are close, pick them, take a kill. Then we can take a kill onto another enemy. Delay and stop the enemy's plan, go on tower. I mean, this angle here is a suicide move because we don't have any control over the showers. And to be honest, this angle, like, really doesn't make that much sense because anyways, you know, when you're clearing the A short area of the map, you should pre-aim here like this. Because that's a headshot position. And they might be, you know, they might be able to react on you. It's much better if basically we play here, but you cannot do that, you know. I mean, you can do it like if we boost ourselves. Like, this is okay. This is actually good. Plus, when we drop down, we're fully safe. But, you know, this is just like, not a good angle to hold. So he has Platinum on controller and Immortal on PC. No, he is Immortal on PC with a controller, and on a real on a console, he is Immortal. Don't ask me. Don't ask me anything. And listen, this poison cloud that you've used is waste. Like, if you already want to use a poison cloud to block off the enemy's vision because you're playing some kind of an angle on which they can see you, but don't use it immediately. Think. You know, use the brain. Like, how much time enemies need to walk from this barrier to this position? Minimum 7 seconds. 7 to 8 seconds. So for 7 or 8 seconds, don't activate the poison cloud. Activate the poison cloud at 1:32, for an example. Instead of wasting now the poison cloud, and then what? You know, what are we gonna do in this position?
Poison's off.
You know, that kind of applies on every controller that you play. Like, I mean, you never want to do instant smokes as soon as the round starts for something if enemies didn't even have the timing to get on a certain position. Or unless you're going for some kind of an outplay or stuff like that.
What's your perception, eh?
I thought I heard one shower, it's not sure.
They're low, but they're low on money.
One here.
You guys got it. You guys got it. I believe in you guys. I believe in you.
Once again, I really have no idea how opping works on a controller. So, yeah.
Poison orb emitting.
Spike down B. One
Very good
enemy
repositioning.
Flawless.
I mean, he should have just fought with his Cypher because we have a tripwire for the showers. We have a camera, like... Enemy Cypher need to go through the war field in order to get on the site, you know, behind us. Fuck this setup, man. I just do a default setup, man. You know, find some kind of a lineup for a one-way right here from the CT and do the wall. Like,
Toxins going up.
I know exactly where
My
you
ultimate is
are.
ready.
listen, one tip. If you're already playing aggro in some main area of the map, don't drop your poison cloud immediately, because then we cannot pick it up and we just waste it. Especially if you want to go for some kind of an aggressive play like this. You know, picking here over top was mega risky, obviously, alone. But okay, I mean, you can try to do it if you think that it is gonna work, and you might get a kill. But if you get stuck in this position, and you don't have a poison cloud to rotate, I mean, you're gonna get destroyed. Or you need to use the teleporter, then God knows if someone is in this area of the map, you might just get stuck, enemies push B, and they destroy your allies. And also, another benefit is like, you know, if enemies are going A, We still have a poison cloud for the retake. And that's it, you know.
Toxins
If you already want to use this type of a smoke setup, of course.
spraying down.
Where you wall the window and a short area of the map.
No fuel.
Come on, let's go.
Are they like all that?
I don't know.
Toxins
2, 2, 2.
going up.
3, 3, 3. Yeah, come in, come in, come in,
Face
come
your
in.
fear!
Toxin screen down.
I mean, here, like, while you were rotating onto the tower, you should have paid attention to your butthole, man. I mean, like, you don't know how deep are the enemies into the bomb site. You have no idea where is this enemy Cypher. He can already be CT. Like, whenever you're doing some kind of a rotation in Valorant, your crosshair should always be placed on the most probable angle from which enemies can kill you at that moment of time. If enemy Cypher can already be here, clear this and do this. At least you're ready to go for maybe some kind of a crazy quick scope and maybe take a kill if he peeks you. But if you just do this and hold the same smoke that our Phoenix is holding and Cypher peeks us, well, we are in a gangbang. Anal
Spike
4K.
planted.
Listen, during the retakes, same as on the attacker side, like, always use your Molotovs to deny some space from the enemy team and get the information for yourself and your teammates. Like here, when the Cypher takes the showers control, like, we should be sending this Molotov somewhere.
Going up.
We'll see where. Ooh.
Reloading.
Watch out, lamps.
I mean, right now, the Poison Cloud would be really good for us, you know, to block the vision of the enemy somewhere. Now, right now, we know that Cypher is, like, in the lamps.
One enemy remaining.
Both lamps, both
Well,
lamps.
he's not lamps anymore.
109.
Last player
Nice
standing.
information. Molotov. Molotov shorty. Molotov short! Unnecessary complication of the round. You know, the reason why I buy a short is exactly because of these type of rounds. If you just basically, so we know that enemy Clove is probably gonna go for some kind of a fast peek, and she's not gonna stay there. So pull out the Molotov, run here. Clove is gonna be vulnerable, and even if she's on this range, you kill that Clove with double shot because of that vulnerability. There was really, like, you know, relying on one op shot to win a round is crazy. You know, crazy bad.
Give me a gun. Oh, now for you, shorty.
Hold on, I'm picking with enough. Nice shot.
Nice try. Why not?
Go away, go away, go away, go away. Go away. Me and Sage got it.
I don't like, you know, we didn't abuse any of these off angles on the A side that we talked about. So going for these plays before you do that is kind of like, why would you take that type of a risk, you know? Why would you take that type of a risk?
Sage got it.
Especially as a Viper, with the ultimate and Molotov and all of this utility. Basically, in these low elo lobbies, as long as you learn how to hold the angles and hold some really good off angles and tight angles, you can easily get the kills. Easily.
Poison orb emitting.
Now, this angle here, it's always much better if you're holding it far back away from this box, like this, and you narrow it down like this. But once again, I don't know how good is your reaction time on a controller, and if that is even possible.
Reloading.
listen, never, like, you should really try to avoid re-peeking the angles without first getting the info where are the enemies at that moment of time. I mean, if I was that enemy Cypher, I would be ready for this peek, and I would probably change my position a bit. Like, it would have been much better after you missed that shot on a Cypher jump spot to see if the Cypher changed his position. Maybe we can molly the enemies and get them away from that position and then go for a peek.
Poison's off. Get out of my way.
Shorty. Shorty exists. Shorty exists. We bought a Shorty, bro.
Jet, show me your aura.
You really like losing rounds, you know, free rounds, huh? Like all of my solo queue teammates as well. Bro, like, we have 5v3 numbers advantage. Do you need to peek the enemies right now? The answer is no. That's the answer. So right now, all you needed to do is just hold this angle and wait to see if enemies are gonna peek you on up there. If enemies peek you at the bottom, reposition, pull out the Shorty, kill the enemies, and then, you know, we play with our teammates.
$120 clove. Both short.
Bro, do you not go on
One
a
enemy remaining. 30 seconds left.
120, he's low.
Wait, hold on, wait for us. Wait for us.
Okay. I like the confidence at least, you know.
Shield,
I like his confidence on a controller, man.
Just
Once again, this poison cloud is shit. I mean, if you're already using this poison cloud, you know, as a default one to stop and delay the enemy's push, the poison cloud should be here. And that's how it should look like. This poison cloud is shit because, you know, you allow the enemies to push through 3 different angles. 1, 2, 3. And the poison cloud can serve as a cover for them to isolate this fight, and then this fight. But if the enemies are pushing only through this smoke, right here, then they're instantly overexposed from every single angle on the site.
Goodbye.
We got this, Viper.
Real. I'll hold one. Kill him.
Toxins going up.
wait for my flank. Don't die yet, please.
Here we need to pay attention, like, like, listen. This angle here is not really the best angle that you can hold. I mean, but if you have the op, okay, I mean, you can hold it. Like, one shot is all you need to kill the enemies anyways. But one thing that we need to be aware here is that when our sage wall is gonna break down. I don't know why you used your smoke, because if you have a sage wall in the hookah, like, you're just wasting on defender side, you're wasting your poison a lot. And you need to pay more attention on when to use your poison, you know, when to use your smokes. Like, you want to use them when the enemies are close to the choke points, when you need to support your allies, like. But this is just like, you know, a complete waste. Now the wall is gonna break down, and we don't have a smoke for window.
Fall off, Jet. You better hurry up. Never mind. It's gonna fall in 3, 2, 1.
I got spike.
You should have repositioned from here, like, instantly. Like, you're fully overexposed from long, from window, and you rely only on one shot to take a kill and stay alive.
Spike down B.
There could be like 3 enemies in the window right now.
Oh, damn.
Cypher killed.
One more long.
One more long.
One long,
One's
one
probably hookah.
Thankfully, there's only one. By the way, you know, when you're playing on the B set of Bind, usually one of the worst fights that you can take are the fights from this angle. They almost never work in a favor of defender side players. And also, like, I mean, in this example, that doesn't matter. But whenever you're peeking the enemies in the window, or you're playing backside, you never want to play on this line, hugging the wall. Why? Because if the enemies get up here, they see your head, you don't see them, and they can just kill you.
I got it. I'll watch it for you. I'll watch it for you.
Poison orb emitting.
That smoke is giga dangerous, man. Giga mega dangerous,
Oh
bro.
yeah, you got this flank
Poison's
cipher.
off.
Both of them are coming towards you.
One enemy remaining.
Almost.
Listen, when you're in the numbers advantage, when you're going for the retakes, when you're playing the post plans, 95% of times, you want to change your operator for an automatic weapon, so that you're not relying on one bullet to win a round. The only times you should, you know, basically like stay with operator is if you're very low HP, or you're playing some of these very long range maps that, you know, or long range bomb sites where we can actually use the operator.
30 seconds left.
But on Bind, that's gonna be interesting. And also, here we made a mistake. This is probably the worst way how you can play a 2 versus 1 scenario. Like, instead of rotating Asa here, you should have rotated towards your Phoenix, pick up the Vandal from the ground, from your dead teammate, and play with a Phoenix. Right now, isolating 1 versus 1 gunfights everywhere against this Jet is the worst way how we can play this retake.
Toxins
I got
going up.
4.
No, Jet has bombs. Probably gonna plant by showers.
I'm just gonna wait for you. I'm gonna make it.
Listen, man, like, whenever you're going up towards the A tower, like you're here, you were running. Jump and hold the shift. Jump, you know, bunny hop and so we're running. Jump, keep bunny hopping, but in the middle of your first jump, just hold the shift, and then you come up here silently, and enemy Jet needs to be like, did he go tower? Or is he maybe CT? She doesn't know where you are. Now, if she hears these, you know, little jumps, I mean, she's gonna know you're tower.
Spike planted.
Obviously.
Toxins
Oh, the wall kind of broke me up.
What's me?
Okay. Now, in this round, playing ASAT is a really good idea. Why is it a good idea? Because in the last round, enemies push B, we completely fucked them up with the operator, like, probably they're gonna go A this round. And when it comes to this ultimate, like, you know, you usually want to use the ultimate when, like, first of all, number one time when I use the Viper's ultimate is during the retakes. Number 2 is like to secure the spike. Number 3 is like when I'm playing some equal halberd rounds and I want to outplay the enemies. And number 4 is like if my teammates are gambling on one site and I need to lock down one site alone. But, you know, in this match there was really not a single round where this ultimate was actually useful and good to use, to be honest. Like, it's okay.
Get out of my way.
Listen, whenever you hear, get out of my way, and you're holding some choke point, get ready for the updrift. If you're playing any weapon, like your crosshair should be up in the air. 90% of times, Jet is going to be with the first contact, she's going to be above you, and you take an easy kill.
Enemy down.
But obviously not with these enemies as well. But anyways, I would not have held this angle, I would have held this angle. And if I don't see the Jet, I would just go for a crouch peek here to see if enemies are going from the lower ground. But anyways, I wouldn't play there as well. I would play on top of the truck. And from top of the truck, basically just hold a bit higher here. And then if the Fade is down, you flick down. If the Jet is up, you kill the Jet and
Bro, why
that's
do
it.
they keep walking? Oh, I don't have
Okay,
a,
Molotov, I guess.
Don't get in my way.
This is something that we call in Valorant unnecessary dangerous utility usage. Like, when you have true numbers advantage, an economy advantage, you don't want to use any utility that enemies might use against you or against your team. Fuck the smokes, fuck everything, just focus on a proper replay game and that's it. And use only the most necessary shit that you need to use to win a specific round. This ultimate, unnecessary. It can potentially allow the enemies to outmaneuver us somehow, or maybe your teammates are going to be more confident and they're going to push the enemies in some fights that where you cannot refrag them. Plus you have the operator. Like, all you need to do here is just rotate tower and from the tower support your teammates. But also, you know, when you have a lot of the credits in Valorant, especially if it is the last round, buy more guns. You know, jack of all trades. He had money to buy the Vandal and Judge. Why would I buy a Vandal and drop it here? Because I want to have Vandal for the retake of the B site. I'm not gonna retake the B site with Operator, you know? Why I wanna have Judge here? So after I hit or miss this shot, enemies are gonna think I have the Operator. Then I can go into the lamps. From lamps, maybe try to take one kill. Enemy Jet is dashing in my face. Ba 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 ba. Get the Jet out of the server. And then, you know, we can either keep holding the lamps or, you know, maybe take a Vandal and now fight the enemies. Good night, Bo. Good night, man.
One enemy remaining.
Where is everyone?
I don't know. This was really unnecessary, man. Really, really unnecessary.
Reloading.
And as I said, like, whenever you have this type of a true numbers advantage, just get that Vandal, get the automatic weapon. Don't risk your round based on one bullet. It's stupid. And don't hold like 50-50 angles. But I don't know why you're risking your life so much, like, in some of these positions. Like, your first fight should never be a fair fight. Or a fight where you either win or, you know, you either take a kill or die. I hold this. Try to kill the Clove. Jump spot her. Distract her as much as you can while your Cypher is lurking behind her. But anyways, I would have just picked up the Vandal and went together with my Cypher.
Yo, I
Good
saw-
game, guys. One shot right here. One shot right here.
Okay, overall, one of the most unusual VOD reviews I've ever had in my life. Like, ever. The guy is playing on a PC with a controller. To be honest, not bad. Actually, I think that, you know, with this setup and with all of these tips and rules and stuff that we've covered, you should, even on this setup, you should be able to reach, like, maybe like Ascendant or even Immortal, to be honest. It is a challenge. You know, it's definitely a challenge. And it's really, like, interesting. And I don't know why you're doing this. For the fun of it, I guess. But the problem is, like, I really cannot give you any training that I would give to my, like, regular mouse and keyboard players, you know. When it comes to mechanical skill, I have nothing to say. You know, we can discuss your gameplay, we can discuss, like, your game decisions and stuff like that, which we did. But mechanical skill, like, I have nothing. What I'm gonna do after this VOD review, I'm gonna share with you a few, like, coaching clips to make you understand a bit better, like, what you can improve and how to improve, like, decision making, team play, angle holding, positioning, stuff like that. But when it comes to, like, some training, I really have nothing to share with you. Like, I mean, this is really unusual and out of my jurisdiction, you know, like I still didn't even start coaching like console and mobile players. I'm gonna do that once I reach Radiant on console and mobile. Yes, I'm gonna do that, and it's gonna be pain in the ass, but we need to expand our audience for the future of coaching and stuff and videos. But yeah, we covered everything that I could have covered, man. I can do it. Trust, I'm locked in. I really think that based on the gameplay I saw here, you can do it. The final question I'm gonna ask you is like, why the fuck are you playing Viper on Bind, man? Over the Brimstone and Omen. That's something I don't understand, to be honest. Like I think with Brimstone and Omen, you would have easier time carrying these games. But thank you for watching. You know, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, join my Discord server for coaching and giveaways. Right now I have a giveaway running for Valorant points and coaching. Interesting. All I can say is very interesting. I have a 70% win rate on Bind and also 1500 hours on her. I mean, she's not bad, just in this elo, like, it's really hard to pull her off, like, as a solo controller. But if you have 70% win rate, keep doing what's working for you. That's also always the best advice I can give you. If something is working, keep abusing what's working as long as it's working. And if it is not working, then we need to change something. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.